Hey everyone, I'm Ryan Hendricks with FTA Styling here in Stayton, and I've got a 2-year-old F350 here today. Notorious black paint, always comes in pretty rough, but this one is especially rough. And today we're going to be showing you the different levels of paint correction that we offer. I've got lots of deep scratches, especially, these up here are like level 10 scratches. These are kind of impossible to remove. We've got certain areas like these rock chips and stuff that not much can be done with. These deeper scratches here and maybe here and here are real deep scratches that we actually can't remove with detailing and polishing and paint correction, but most of the scratches and swirls in this truck we're going to be able to remove with a full paint correction. Today we're going to be doing a stage 1 on this truck, but I'm just going to show you the different levels of paint correction and what those offerings are. First, we're going to be doing a gloss enhancement polish, which is going to be a light polishing of the paint, and is really just going to shine it up and not do a whole lot to remove defects and scratches. We'll do a stage 1 paint correction, which is going to remove usually 50 to 80% of swirls and light scratches. Our stage 2 paint correction, which usually removes about 95% of defects, maybe sometimes 98, 99%. And then our full paint correction, which is like our stage 2, but kind of an upgraded, more intensive version. We get a little bit more detailed around the cracks and crevices and generally remove just a little bit more of the defects. We're usually aiming for 99% or better with the full paint correction. So let's get started with the polishing. Now I've got the bed of the truck here taped off, ready to do all of our test spots with the polishing and compounding. But first I wanted to show you a couple of defects that I see in the paint. Obviously this paint is really heavily swirled, really heavily scratched. We do have, if you get the right angle on here, we've got these straight line scratches from front to back, just right here through the center. This is the area where we're going to be doing the gloss enhancement polish. So this will just slightly improve. It'll be a little bit glossier, but these deep scratches here will definitely still be here, and most of these swirls will still be here. Here we're going to be doing the stage 1 correction, and you can see up at the top there's actually these buffer trails, and they're also called holograms. They kind of follow the light a little bit differently than what the wash swirls do. And these sometimes are really easy to remove, but also can be very hard to remove if the person that created them was using an extremely heavy cut compound and improper techniques. So we'll see how those come out with the stage 1. Usually we do have pretty good luck with that. We've also got some deep scratches in this one as well. Those may improve a little bit, but probably aren't going to come out 100%. And then the swirls we should see about 60 to 80% improvement there. This is going to be our stage 2 correction spot. And this is going to be an area where we've got really deep, heavy scratches here, a bit of the buffer trails along the top here, and this we should see a really great improvement on. I'm hoping to see 95 to 98% correction in this area here. Now the final step, we're going to do our full paint correction process, and this should lighten up this deep scratch along the center here pretty well. Should take care of some of these, looks like dog scratches here a little bit. And I guess we're just gonna get started over here with the gloss enhancement polish. Now our gloss enhancement polish uses a very fine finishing polish and a nice soft foam pad that really just jewels the paint and shines it up. Now, as you can see here, it honestly didn't do a whole lot. Might be able to see behind the tape line here a little bit. Looks like we do see a little bit more depth. Usually a paint that is this hammered, it's just not something that a gloss enhancement polish is going to do much to. This is more reserved for newer vehicles that only need a little bit of paint correction. Now our stage 1 process is going to include a little bit heavier cut foam. It's going to remove a little bit more of the defects, and we're going to work the polish a lot longer on the paint to remove a lot more of those heavy to light defects. Now that there was a standard stage 1 process that can be modified a little bit to offer a little bit more cut, but we do see a lot more defect removal here. I'll lift up this tape line here. So we've got pretty good improvement there. I'd say 70 to 80%. We did take care of those buffer trails in the top, but there is, looks like actually under here, probably some marks from maybe a tarp or something. They're just like little tiny scratches and specks in here. So I'm not sure, some kind of damage happened here. That was probably why they used the rotary on there to buff that out, but unfortunately that's something that just can't be repaired. All right, now this is gonna be our stage 2 correction, and we actually use a microfiber cutting pad and a heavy cut or medium cut compound on this. This is gonna remove a lot more of those heavy defects, but we do have to follow that up with basically our stage 1 correction. So this is a 2-step process. We do our compounding, we do our heavy cut, and then we refine and finish with a finishing polish. All right, now it looks like a lot more defects came out with this package here, our stage 2 paint correction. I'm gonna pull this tape back just so we can compare. And now it looks like up here, much more of those scratches and swirls came out. We've got here lots and lots of heavy scratches and swirls. And then we can actually, now that most of those are gone, you can almost see this little blue metallic flake in the paint. Kind of crazy how there's absolutely none of that in this area where you've got the scratches and swirls, and then probably camera's not going to pick it up, but we can see a lot of that little metallic blue in this paint. Looks really cool. And obviously a lot of this stuff here is actually lint, but we've got this really deep scratch here. That didn't come out. That's actually a scratch that honestly is probably too deep to remove anyways. And these here are pretty deep as well, but really great correction there. All right, so for a full paint correction, we're actually gonna break out what I call the bad boy. This is a rotary polisher. There's a really heavy cut wool pad on here, and we're gonna use our heavy cut compound. Alright, that is looking pretty good. Alright, and now as you can see here, we've got much better correction. This removed a lot more of the defects than what we got out with our stage 2 paint correction. Pull back some tape here. And you can see these deeper defects are much more lightened, not quite as noticeable through here. But overall, our correction is, I guess, relatively similar. Our full paint correction is more meant for those show cars. It's where we're going to get a little bit more detailed in areas like this, and areas like this where the polisher has to work a lot harder. Alright, now just to review, this was our gloss enhancement polish. We got a pretty decent improvement. You might be able to see a little bit of the difference here where I had a little bit of overlap. This is before and this is our after. This paint obviously is way beyond what normal paint correction will take care of. Honestly, this truck needs a repaint at this point, but we are going to go ahead and do our stage 1 correction on it. But again, this is our gloss enhancement polish, a little bit of improvement here. It's not super heavily improved. This is our stage 1 correction. We got a lot more improvement here, a lot more of the swirls out. I still want to say we're at like 50 to 70% swirl removal, but we've still got some pretty heavy swirls and scratches in the paint here. So this here is our stage 2 paint correction. removes a lot more of the swirls and defects in the paint, leaves it a lot more refined. We're able to see those metallics in the paint much better. And then our full paint correction, which is our all out, as much correction as we can achieve within reason. This here is the bad boy. We've got really great gloss and depth in this area here. We've got a little bit more of the defects here from that we can see that were much worse around these edges here. But this is pretty good here. So if you have any questions about whether your vehicle needs maybe a stage 1 paint correction, full correction, who knows, feel free to bring it on by. We're located at 1840 Pacific Court in Stayton, Oregon. Or you can call us and just chat on the phone. It's 503-767-3007. Thanks.